Dio, I'll say, you realize when it comes to education, because we're talking even about education right now, do you feel like, let me say, the boy has been neglected, and at the same time you realize that let me say when you go to schools, you realize when people are doing their MAs, you find more women in the classrooms than the men.
Yes.
You know, do you think it's something people should talk about?
I think it is something people need to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think this is majorly happening because of, reducing the standard for the girl child, you see. The standard for the male remains the same, but the standard for females is being reduced. I can even start from my own LLB class, my own law class. 60 girls, around 25 boys. By the time tulikuwa tuna graduate, I think it was even less for the boys, and of course for the girls, you see. But it was even less, you see. So it is happening, it is actually happening. We have a larger number of females getting into this, but because essentially the standards for them have been reduced, the standards for the boys still the same. Perhaps unapata hata zinakuwa increased at some point, you see. So I would think, I would want to say standardization needs to be done. It needs to be done such that we are handed equal opportunities. We cannot be having a generation, maybe a cluster of 1,000 men and 1,000 females. Out of the 1,000 men, it is only 200 or 300 that are able to match up to the standards of these females. You see.
You know, let me say, reading, we should all be feminists, which Mamanda, she says, gender prescribes how we should be rather than recognizing how we are. And I feel like because of our formative stages as we're growing up, you know, in one way or another, it dictates, like let me say, it dictates on how you should act as a person. Just the way as you're talking about even the idea of emotions and pain, you know. So as we wind up, I would love to know, or let me say, are you at least addressing some issues? Are you growing up as Dio? What are those things that you have juggled with? How was your journey like, you know? And where do you see yourself? Because you said boys germinate. You know, I want to understand that journey. Maybe for instance, let me say there's a guy who is watching or listening to you, and or there's a parent, and maybe he or she doesn't know, like maybe they're doing things differently and they have to change. You know, how would you parent your kids, given an opportunity if you're a dad? Okay? How would you wish things to be in the future? Yeah, just encourage, and also remember to encourage someone over there. You know, because you always hear of cases, a man is so stressed up because he cannot express his emotions, therefore they end up to being violent, and therefore having a dysfunctional society. And at the end of the day, women are also going to get married to these same men.
The same men, correct. So, yes, definitely, from the way I've grown up, I would say there's some things that I've had to find out by myself, not by myself, and that involved struggle. I would want to say between the time you're born and by the time you get around 18, 20, that is the formative stage. You learn a lot of stuff during that period. So you see, whatever it is that you learn from that age, it is difficult for that thing it becomes culture, essentially. It becomes your way of life. So you see, when you get to be 25 and you discover life is not this, what I learned, it becomes really difficult. It becomes really, really difficult for you to throw that away. It becomes a process. You end up spending 5, 10 years of your life unlearning. The way people keep on saying, oh, let us unlearn toxic traits. It is not easy. You end up spending a lot of time trying to unlearn what you learned was the correct way down here, which could have been solved by just simply learning it while you're growing up. So as a parent, I think I would parent differently, definitely. I would want to teach my boys that it is okay to feel, be in contact with your feelings. In fact, I would want to tell them there's nothing as sexy as a man who is in contact with their feelings. The moment you're in contact with your feelings, you raise the bar, the standard. You will never even come across mediocre women hanging around you, because it will be a few who will be able to handle you when you're in contact with feelings. You see? And you see, when you're in contact with your feelings, you don't feel offended when a woman is offended that you're unable to pay a bill or
just
provide.
Express yourself.
You become you. You see, you see, if she's unable to provide herself for herself, she should not expect you to provide for what she's unable to provide, you see. So I would say, my son, that there is a dysfunctional woman. Run. Avoid her, you see.
Wow.
But you can only be able to do that as a guy if you are in contact with your feelings.
True.
That is one. So don't be afraid to feel. Don't be afraid to express your feelings. Speak out. Talk about it. You see. Even when there's defending silence around it, speak about it. Don't be afraid as a man. That is number one. Number two, learn to live with females. You see. They're human beings just the same way you are. A woman is no less a human being, you see. You most probably you will end up with a female in your life. If you will be straight, that is. You will end up with a woman. Yes. You will end up with a woman in your life, most probably. So you need to learn to coexist with these people peacefully. You need to respect them. Yes. You need to accord them the same respect you would accord a fellow man. At the same time, you need to differentiate between, respect and what would I call it? Respect, and you see, always giving them a head start. You need to differentiate between those two. Respect is mutual. You see. Favors and head starts, they're one-sided. So once you learn to respect them as human beings, the relationship becomes mutual. Yes. But I would want to say the most important thing is, as a man, as a boy, learn to be in contact with your feelings. A healthy you mentally, the energy radiates to everything else that will be around you. So the moment you're in contact with your feelings, everything plays out. Your vision plays out, you see. Your mission plays out, you see. It becomes clear. What you want in life becomes clear, you see. And you get to follow what it is that you want in life, you see. And just the way you had said, you see, what Chimamanda said, the society tends to tell us what we need to do. The society does not really consider what it is that, what is it that you actually want to do as a human being in your life. I think I would also want to be a parent, although I would also say for me, you see, for me, my parents knew my abilities. And we also have to acknowledge that we have an education system that does not really look at an individual's abilities. We have an educational system that is, for instance, me, I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. But I went through an education system that was trying to tell me that if I fail chemistry, I am stupid, you see. There's nothing that I'm doing that is chemistry related right now. I went through an education system that was insisting on teaching me matrices in maths. It was insisting on teaching me angle of elevation and depression in maths. When in fact, if my ability could have been discovered earlier during my formative stages, perhaps in high school, I would have just been taught addition and subtraction, kwa sababu mimi nitaongeza tu, nataji tu hesabu ya pesa ya kujua client ananilipa ngapi. I balance my books, nifundishwe maybe accounting. Simple. But you see, those people succeeded in making me feel like I was not entirely bright because I was sitting beside somebody who was getting an A in maths while I was getting a D. You see? And my maths teacher was telling me, you need to pull up your socks. You need to understand matrices. What if God created me never to understand matrices? You see? By the way, I'm normally very mad about that. About being forced to learn maths and chemistry. I'm being taught the mole concept. I've never ever understood it. Never. I was taught that 50 times. Sikuwaelewa. Tell me right now where I'm ever going to apply the mole concept. You see? You see. So I think we need also to have a system that is looking at individual, There's normally this quote in Yohana Samanga, if if you take a crocodile and you put it with a monkey, alafu uziambie compete on climbing that tree, na uziwache hivyo, the crocodile might spend the rest of its life thinking they are the most foolish thing on this earth because they were unable to climb the tree, you see. But ukipeleka crocodile kwa maji na upeleke the monkey kwa tree na uweke the same length ya maji, useme 100 meters, the tree is 100 meters, they will compete. Yes, because the crocodile is good at swimming. The monkey is good at climbing that tree, you see.
True.
But you see, me and you, we can be good at, let's say, law. But they say, you can do law with 58 points. Me, I must do law with only 60 points. And I have 59 points. So you see, I was meant to do this. But I'm unable to do it. You are able to do this, to do it, you see.
Yeah.
Because I had a higher standard for doing it, you see.
Yeah.
And affirmative action gave birth to, you know, now women empowerment, which is also being taken on its own way. It's another topic altogether.
Okay.
But now going back, I would also say I would want to tell my kids, my boys, I would want to take them through every step, you know. I would want to tell them it will reach a point in high school when, if you're 14, 15, 16, you're going to break your voice. It is little, yes, you'll break your voice. But at some point, some people will make you feel funny about it. My personal experience, I broke my voice nikiwa Form 3. I have a very deep voice. It was deep at that particular point, you see. And when I broke my voice, I used to command the scouts in Form 3. So even me, I had not even noticed it had broken. So we go back to school, tunafungua. The first Monday, people are not responding to the commands, you see. I'm commanding, but people are not responding. And then the teachers say, we cannot hear the commander. Then that is when, a teacher says, you know, there's time for everything. You can see when our commander has broken his voice and he's barely audible. No one can hear him, you see. And then from that day in school, when somebody meets you, mtu hata kuiti, asemi ni aje dio mtu anakwambia. Ni aje.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And you see, the whole school is looking at you as the whole school is saying now. So to some extent, it is little, yes. But to some extent, inaanza kukufanya una feel left out.
That affects your esteem.
In affect esteem yako. And then to some extent, inabidi. Now, because you're a man, inabidi uanze hide. Now, you know, inabidi uanze kukaa ni kama uko fiti, but that affects your self-esteem, you see, to some extent. So the way people talk to girls about everything, you see, the way a girl is told, boys are bad. Boys are bad. Don't go, wachana na wanaume. Boys are bad. Just focus on education, study, get a job, get everything, and then you will get a husband. Uko hivyo mbele. I would also want to tell my boys, girls are bad. As at this stage, girls are bad. You see, for us, we are told, in fact, you become a man when you are able to approach those girls. You see. But for Christ's sake, you're 12 years old, you're 13, you're 14 years old. Unataka approach them ufanye na yenyewe. So I think it's just about having those conversations with the boys, being as much as open as with them as much as you can as a dad. You know, speak about them, you see. Notice the changes, the patterns, the changes in behavior patterns. Address each and everything the way you'd address each and everything about girls. Just, you know, speak about everything. Mwambie as a man, probably as a man, wewe ukikuwa mkubwa, hautakuwa na ndevu. Lakini watu wasikuambie, you are still a man, you are na ndevu. So for men, the little things you see, changes in growth, inafika point you are witnessing a lot of change in your body, but you see, there's no, and then you see this is high school. You need somebody to speak to you to tell you this is happening because of this and this and this. At some point you're going to feel this way, this and this and this and this and this and this. And you see, you cannot even find it on your own because mostly, see, tukiwa high school, it was the library, so hakuna resources inside there really about growth and everything. And then access to the internet. Public boarding schools was also restricted, you know. So how could hatuna you access that much, you see. So I just want to say, speak to them, you see. Speak to boys. set different standards for viewing the male, you see, and that is done from when the child is young. Unamsetia standards, unamwambia you are you because you are you. You're not you because of the amount of money you have. You are you because you are you. You are important. You're not just a provider.
Okay.
You know, a lot of men, we grow up, we marry, we provide, we die. That is our life. But there's more to life than that. You can live a fulfilling life as a man.
Wow.
Yes. And be in contact with your life, hivyo kabisa, without necessarily provision.
Okay.
That is one perspective. Another perspective, which is also kind of interesting for us who have been brought up this way, to know that our value is through provision. I read somewhere, somebody was saying, you know, we have a generation of dysfunctional men because the economy is in shambles. We've been brought up to know that our value is in providing.
Yeah.
So that guy said essentially, fix the economy, provide jobs, let men be working. The moment the man is able to provide, the moment the man has a stable stream of income, he becomes okay. When he's okay, the rest of the family is okay. So that guy provided a solution. Alisema, fix the economy.
Fix it, yeah.
It is a food for thought, I would say. It is a food. It makes sense. It is true. But I would say we would only be solving half the problem.
Okay.
To solve it in full, just let us bring up a different generation of men.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
To anybody else who might be watching, like you had said, an encouragement. Life is life. Live it on your own terms. Don't let someone tell you need to live life this way.
Yeah.
Don't let, maybe perhaps we might have another session in which, you know, I would be able to speak about my whole, maybe career journey professionally, from where I started up to where I am, and everything else. But don't let these standards that are set by the modern world really define who you are and who you can be anyone you want. You can do anything you want in this life. The fact that you got a C+ in KCSE does not make you any less human. The fact that, you know, you have done a degree in, you know, social sciences and community studies does not make you any different.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the greatest achievement you can have as a human being is personal fulfillment.
True.
Being you, having lived your life on your own terms, having married when you were ready, and not when people felt you needed to be ready, having kids and a family when you were ready, achieving your own personal goals.
True.
According to your own clock.
Yeah.
Yes, so set timelines, set limits for yourself. Do you, be you.
Okay.
Yes. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. You can always reach out to her. She has my contact.
Yeah.
So in case you need anything whatsoever legal, I am here. I also do pro bono work.
Okay.
So, yes.
They can reach out to you.
Yes, you can reach out to her and she can refer you.
Sawa, thank you so much, Dio.
Yes.
Like, I'm so humbled just for you showing up here, you know.
Yes.
And my takeaway for me is, as a man, it's very important for you to feel the pain, okay? So my viewers, you can reach out to me, Facebook, Sifa Katami, Story Corner, Instagram, Sifa Katami, and definitely YouTube, Sifa Katami. Thank you, Pride in Azure, for hosting us. I want to thank the amazing crew for what they're doing. It is because of them that we are actually having this discussion. And definitely, I want to remember Sitam Technologies for what they're doing. If you want to buy laptops, any form of electronic, let me just say, softwares, you can reach out to Sitam Technologies. Maybe you want to have a CCTV installation in your house for the sake of your children and your safety. Kindly reach out to Sitam Technologies. It is nice having you. This is Story Corner.